into the show. As I said, we're in conversation with Graeme Codrington, and what I've been trying to do over the last few weeks is connect with people that I really wanted to talk to, people who I believe have got something to say to businesses who are shifting away from the crisis mindset. I'm not a crisis manager. Some of your businesses have been in real crisis mode for the last few weeks, rightly so. And you kind of had to get through this disruption of a lockdown or whatever it is in your country that you're dealing with. But now I'm beginning to get a sense that this is a little bit normalized. We know we're going to be in some form of lockdown and disruption for quite a while, probably into next year. And then after that, we're probably not going to go back to normal anytime soon anyway. And a whole new system is emerging. So I wanted to speak to people who had something to say to businesses, whether it was in sales or employee engagement or supply chain management or finance or leadership. And Geoff, I promise you I haven't said this to everybody, but this is one that I was really, really looking forward to. You the only guy I wanted to speak to on customer service. Now, let me tell everybody why. Geoff Ramm, I've known him for many, many years. He's one of the top speakers based in the UK, but speaks all around the world, and is the founder of the concept called celebrity service. And his clients include companies like Warner Brothers and Emirates, and Forbes magazine called this an absolute breakthrough in terms of customer service. And I remember I was sitting at a conference, I think we were speaking on the same stage, and you got up and just lit the stage alight with your insights, and everybody was taking notes. And I took your concept of celebrity service back to my business and began to think, what would I do if a celebrity was one of my clients? And then why shouldn't I do that for everybody? At one level, such a simple concept. But Geoff, tell us a little bit about what celebrity service is and why you think it's more important now than ever.
Yeah. Do you know what? You hit the nail on the head. It's such a simple concept. And that's the thing. Anybody in an organization, any director, anybody who started, anybody on a day release from college can get the essence of celebrity service in minutes. So this is celebrity service. For those of you who don't know what it is, this is what it is. So for the last 4 decades, we've been told in order for our business organization to stand out in our sector, in our marketplace, we've been told 2 things. There's 2 things that we need to do to stand out in the marketplace. Number 1 is we need to go the extra mile. And number 2, we need to exceed expectations, right? Now, you've heard this, Graeme, I've heard this. We've read books, we've read manuals, we've seen speakers and trainers go the extra mile and exceed expectations. It's the same old, same old. There's nothing new in the world of customer service and customer experience. But I think I've found something, and it's called celebrity service. Celebrity service is a philosophy, and the philosophy is a question. And it's something that everybody on this video right now, you can do this with yourself, with your department, with your team, with your entire brand to create the ideas you've never had before. And this is the question. Your next tweet, your next email, your next phone call, your next engagement with a potential client or customer, if they were an A-list celebrity, Hollywood, movie god or goddess, and we know who we're talking about here, Angelina Jolie, George Clooney, that type of A-list celebrity, if they were your next potential client or customer, what would you say? What would you do? How would you react? What would be the difference? And the difference is the gap you don't realize exists within your business, within your department, within your brand right now today. You think you're delivering a high level of service, but if an A-list celebrity will become your next client, your service levels go to there, Graeme. And that's the gap we don't realize exists. And it's a gap that if we can fill, there's not a competitor in the marketplace can touch us for the experience we can give, not just before lockdown, during lockdown, but when we come out, we can create an incredible experience. And you asked the question there, why now? Why is it even more important now? maybe, you know, the shock and the real knee-jerk reaction maybe has happened in the first month or the first few weeks. And then you said it, you know, becomes, we get quite used to various things, and then we start then changing to say, well, how can we improve, or what can we do? How can we come back? I wonder how many businesses right now genuinely have got on a call with their team virtually or in a park and actually sat down and said, you know what can we do to create a greater service experience for our team, for our clients, for our customers? I wonder if anybody's had that conversation. Because I tell you what scares me, right? This is personal, right? The new norm. So I wish I'd bought thenewnorm.com. We could have made a fortune, Graeme, you and I. So everybody's talking about the new normal. I tell you what really scares me. Organizations or businesses who think going back to the old normal is going to be good. I would be fearful of that old norm, because let's be honest, the service wasn't that great to begin with.
Sure. What a point. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, as I say, a few years ago when I heard you talk about this for the first time, it just made such sense, because we all know that we fall apart a little bit in front of celebrity. I do. I'm not even that type of person, but you get a little bit starstruck, you get a little bit, you know, and you're exactly right. I do laugh, though, at the fact that us two old white men, our go-to celebrities are Angelina Jolie and George Clooney. You know, it definitely, there's obviously a generational thing, and my teenage daughters would obviously have a different list. But that's not the point, right? And it's also, we also know we you know, we might go out of the way. We might close the shop so that they have exclusivity. We might, you know, do all sorts of things. So you're not saying that you must just mimic exactly what you would do if, in fact, Brad Pitt came. It's the mindset, isn't it? It's the way of thinking.
Yes.
Which said, why would I do something extra special for somebody that I wouldn't do for all of my customers?
Quick question, Graeme. Quick question. Can you, so apart from Angelina Jolie, do you have a favorite at all? A favorite celebrity?
Well, you know, we sometimes have this conversation. I'm the father of 3 daughters, young adults and teenage daughters.
Yeah.
And every now and again, the conversation flows at the dining room table. My daughters forget there's actually a man in the room. And so we have conversations about things like hall passes and unicorns and so on. And Geoff, I can tell you from experience of a man who's been married for nearly 30 years with 3 young adult daughters, I never answer that sort of question. There is no right answer to that question. You find a way to deflect, go and get more juice from the kitchen or something like that. So yes, plead the fifth.
Okay, go for the next. Let's just say it was Angelina.
Yes,
right?
Angelina will do. Angelina's fine.
Let's just guess. And she asks for a Futurist speaker to speak at her conference in New York on this date. And could you put a proposal together? Now, of course, you've got 6 proposals to write this week, Graeme. I wonder whose goes up to the top of the pile. I wonder if you will cut and paste the usual stuff you would usually do, or maybe you would tailor it. Maybe you'd put a little bit more thought into it. Maybe you would respond in a different way.
Yeah.
And the thing about celebrity, so celebrity is it's the philosophy, and that changes everything. And this is something I'm very, very proud of. But it's actually, I broke it down into 9 sections within your customer experience that you can completely outperform the competition. So celebrity stands for consistency, excitement, love, engagement, bravado, response, independence, thank you, and you and your team. Now, all of these components you can look at for any one of your touch points and create some celebrity service magic. Now, it's not a case of we'll do this for everybody, but you've got to look at it and think, well, what would we do? Would we stay open longer? Would we wear better clothes? Would we respond in a greater personalized manner? And the response in celebrity is how we respond to inquiries. How important is it the same old, or can we do something that's going to put the biggest smile on somebody's face? And it doesn't cost money, Graeme. It just can take an extra few moments of time and of the team working together to come up with these ideas. So it's knowing what you could do, but then looking to say, well, look, if anybody was a celebrity, could we copy some of these ideas? And it just takes us up a level. It takes us constantly up a level, and it creates a different culture within the business. Somebody new comes in and they know that this is how it's always been done. Time and time again, I'm working with brands who think they're great, and yet by sitting down, by inspiring them with stories, by giving them some techniques, they're outperforming any previous results, which is incredible.
Now, a few people have said, whoa, they weren't quite ready for a list of 9 things. They didn't have pens in there. So I've given them your website, Geoff Ramm, that's with a double M, .com. If you're watching the video later, if you're live with us, have a look in the chat box, so people can go and have a look there. But won't you take us through those 9 things again, maybe slowly, and explain why each one is important? Some of them made sense to me. It's obvious, consistency was the first one.
Yes.
It makes sense. You don't want to give somebody a different experience every time they come to you. So that makes sense. Quickly just run through it for us.
So consistency. Yeah. Fairly self-explanatory. Excitement. Now, excitement. Now we will have professional services on here thinking, what do you mean excitement? We don't do excitement. We do facts, figures, charts. We're professional legal services, Geoff. We're accountants. We are finance. I'm like, no. Excitement, putting a smile on somebody's face. So consistency, I'll come back to that. Consistency, excitement, love. Now this is an interesting one for the times we're in. Love is not about loving your customers and they'll love you. Love is about when something goes wrong. The lift breaks, you run out of eggs, so the delivery doesn't turn up, it's a damaged product, whatever it may be, you're running late. Okay, so when something goes wrong, loving the opportunity to put it right and do something different in a positive spin so that there wasn't a problem in the first place. And now often, it didn't include pandemics, if I'm honest with you, but that's where we're at. When something goes wrong, what can we do to have a greater experience to put it right? So we've got consistency, excitement, love. Engagement is the questions that we ask on a one-to-one basis with a customer, with a client. And really what you're doing here in engagement is you're just listening to the real reason why they're after your product or service or you. You're finding out what the triggers are, what they really do want, and using this information to give it back to them in a greater personalized way.
I was just going to say, surely that's the heart of personalization, and not just personalization where it's personalized, them getting the feeling of personalization.
Yes.
Some people are freaked out by personalization. I love the fact that if you and I are having a conversation about something, then 3 hours later, Amazon recommends it to me, because clearly it's been listening to me. Some people are freaked out by that. The whole world's listening to me, Big Brother. I actually think it's brilliant because it's digital personalization, or at least a facsimile thereof. But you're saying it's more than just delivering personalization. It's letting people know that that's your focus.
You listened here. You listened. Okay. So a bit of excitement, bit of engagement. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to show everybody and you on here because honestly, you're going to love this. The B is bravado.
Okay.
Bravado. Now, bravado is teams that I work with and organizations that I work with, either in person, remember those days, or virtually. It's once I give them some of the techniques, they go away and they say, oh, we can do this, we can do that. And some of those ideas, oh, can we do that? Should we do that? If you genuinely believe it's going to put a smile on somebody's face, just do it. Be brave enough. Not everybody will love your ideas. 1 out of 100 will think it's not appropriate, but the 99 love it. Don't stop for the 1. So bravado. The I is independence. And this can work in a few different ways. I love it when people are independent from the rest. They go against the grain of any other person, any other brand, and they do something different. And they're the ones that stand out. Now, for managers and directors, this is about giving your team and your colleagues independence. How often, Graeme, do we get passed from pillar to post to get to an answer? We have to fill in a form. We have to do. If only people had independence to actually carry out that bit of experience, we would think so well of them. So we've got independence. Thank you. The T is thank you. How do you thank your clients? How do you thank your customers? You can physically say it, but there's times in the year in which you can actually thank them for the business. And I want to come back to that a bit later on in conversation with. And the why is you, your team. What are you going to do with my stories, with the techniques and the ideas? Because it is up to you what you do with it. I can't be there 24/7. But within an hour or a 2-hour session, I can give you everything that you need for you and your team to create celebrity service moments and to carry that momentum on in your business. Can I go back to excitement and engagement?
You can't yet, because I know you're testing. You left the R out just to make sure.
Oh, I did. The
COVID brain now. COVID brain. You went from bravado to independence.
You're too good at this. You're too good at this. R is response. How do we respond? In a great. We will receive inquiries through the website. We will, how do we respond? How do we respond back? How do we connect and really? How many organizations right now on this call are sending out proposals? And I wonder what they could look like if they were a celebrity, for example. So the R is response, and I use a few different techniques, and I share a few different stories on this. But technology has given us license to be creative here, Graeme. And rather than just a plain old, thank you very much, Mr. Codrington, for your for your email. We look forward to working with you. We are open from 9 till 5 every day. And if you'd like to come in, we will look forward to seeing you. And please, rather than that, for real estate, for hoteliers, for so many businesses, you could just pick up your phone, click a video, and walk through the business. And say, hi, Graeme, it's Geoff here. I've just received your inquiry about you wanted to come and visit this property. Rather than just send you some photographs, I was actually in the area. I just thought I would pop in and show you some of the rooms. In here, we've got this. This is the swimming pool. This is the... It's 2 minutes worth of response brilliance. And what somebody's done is connected with you, Graeme, in a greater way. It's cost them nothing. It's took 2 minutes of their life, but you'll remember it for years. The motor industry do this a lot. And who would have thought the motor industry would pave the way in terms of a great customer experience? But they do this a lot with servicing your car, repairing your car, giving you an update. We can do this for so many businesses. So the R is response. What can we do differently to respond in a greater personalized way? And when you put those 9 components together, built on top of celebrity service, the philosophy, that's when the results come.
And you've seen amazing results, haven't you? I mean, some of your clients have turned things around in unbelievable ways.
There's 2 things I want to show you. 2 things, and one it'll ring true. So many, what do results look like? As a speaker, as somebody who's got techniques and ideas and stories, results for me is what you go on to achieve from what I've said. Okay, and what I've shared with you. That's it. So that could be an award. That could be an award that's on your mantelpiece because you won best customer, whatever it may be. So it could be something like that. It could be great facts and figures of guest feedback, for example. And there's been some stunning examples of that. One of the best I had not so long ago, I worked for Tesco Mobile. I did their conference in the UK. So Tesco Mobile, a big mobile phone company here in the United Kingdom. And I did a 40-minute keynote. And I received an email a couple of weeks later from the CEO, and she said, just thought you should know this, but because you'll never get to know because you're not within the business. But our net promoter score, our NPS score, went up 1.8 as a result of that talk. People just got it. She said, store managers in a retail environment, which is very, very hard at the moment, we got the essence. They've gone back, they've shared the stories with the team, they've downloaded your videos on YouTube, and our net promoter score has gone up 1.8. So results can mean anything to anybody. I just love hearing them, Graeme. Got to show you one.
Yeah.
So I, as well as the stories, I also do interactive challenges. interactive challenges with teams. I can do this up to 1,000 people. It works brilliantly. And I get people into teams. And I give them, I take a touch point from their customer service or their experience. We take one, and in any business, there are hundreds. And we say, right, we're just going to look at that one area of service now. How can we give that the celebrity service treatment? So we'll get people into teams. We'll look on one focus area, but this is the trick. I only give them 2 minutes to come up with the answers. So it's 120 seconds. So I call it the 120 challenge. I've been doing this for years. Now, half of the room, when I say you've only got 120 seconds, there'll be a sharp intake of breath. It's, that can't be done. It can be done. And the room just lights up, both virtually and in a session, the room lights up. And I promise you, the ideas that come from the 120 challenges, organizations, brands, they've never had them before. And it's this rapid, fast, quick. Oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. And of all the ideas, there will be some absolute gems within all of the tables. And it's those that we can look at, concentrate on to build a greater experience. Got to tell you this, just a very quick one, because I want to go back to the excitement bit that I know you'd like. So this South Africa, look, it's a stunning, stunning country, as you well know. And still one of the greatest places I've ever spoken in was the Drakensberg. I've been there a few times. Wonderful, wonderful place. I spoke at the Tiger Brands conference some years ago now, and it was in Sun City. And I did the Tiger Brands conference, and a month later they rebooked me, and I came back to Joburg, and I did a session for the teams, okay? And we did the 120 challenge. We did a few actually that day. And I found out months later that a lady called Natalie Roberts, now this comes back to the why in celebrity, the you in your team, what are you going to take from these ideas? She came up with one idea. So she was in charge of cold meats. Bet you weren't expecting this, Graeme, were you?
This is real sexy stuff.
Oh, this is you know, this is an 18 certificate, okay? Cold meats. Now, in particular, Polony, Enterprise Polony was the brand. Now, we've all been to South African supermarkets, you've got the great big Polonies, and you open it and you cut and you eat and you put it in a sandwich and you have it on your plate, and it goes down and down and down and down. And invariably, we never finish a huge Polony because it starts to dry out. She came up with this. The Polony cap, literally costing a few rand. And what it is, you put it on the end of the Polony. So now you can cut, okay? But the cap goes on there, so it lasts longer. There's less waste of the food, and it's the Polony cap. Now I'm back home. I'm back in the northeast of England. Months later, I heard about this Polony cap. And then I heard the results. Sales increased 53%.
Good grief.
And I just, it's not me, it's Natalie Roberts. She was the inspiration behind this. The team, you know, they'll have backed her. So there's a bit of bravado there. Should we do this? Should we not? But she came up with an idea through the 2-minute challenge. And whether it be a net promoter score in a retail environment, whether it be a product, you know, having a better experience for the customer.
Yeah.
This is the greatest part of what we do, Graeme. You and I love being on stage. You and I love sharing insights and stories. We love having fun. We love to travel. My word, me and you love to travel. We love to stay in hotels.
Sorry, just explain the concept. What's traveling? What's a stage again? I think you mean the screen.
Oh, yes, sorry. I now speak to screens, not spleens. Oh, can I do my story now? Have you got a question?
I was just going to say, before we forget, come on, tell us about excitement now. So we're trying to get this whole package together.
Okay, right. So, couple of things, okay? So I want to talk about this, right? So I mentioned about, look, be afraid of the old norm, not the new norm. That's all I'm going to say. Be afraid of the old one. Right now, in lockdown or this period, to be honest with you, I I wrote a blog on LinkedIn last week, and I call it sort of the F1 analogy, the Formula One motor racing. I said, right now, a lot of businesses, a lot of organizations are in the pit lane. You know, we're not sure what to do and what we need to do. And slowly but surely, country by country, sector by sector, we're starting to come back onto the track at various parts of the track, ready to start the race. And when that COVID flag goes down and when the green light goes, you know, are you going to race into that first corner with the same level of experience and service levels that you were delivering 3 months ago? Well, best of luck with that. And I've been saying to businesses literally for the last month, because the first 6 weeks, you know, but for the last month, spend your time right now with your team, get everybody together, create the ideas, the strategies, the plans, those celebrity service moments, so that when you hit the first corner, you're way out in front. And it's an analogy that I've used time and time again. And there's things that we can do, and I want to go back to excitement of celebrity, because this is a big one, and every organization, business, no matter how big or small, can do this, can really make an incredible difference. So, Graeme, I don't have this problem anymore, but you might have. The whole world has been talking about, when are we going to get our hair cut? Right? The whole world is freaking out, right? So now, all the hair salons and all these places are closed, and of course, customers, we can't wait to get back. I work with some brands, with Weller and with Goldwell and with Peter Marks, so some big brands in the hair industry, and I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be the futurist here, Graeme. I'm going to predict that when we get into the salon next, people who are in the chair getting their hair cut will do two things. Just two things. One, they will take a photograph of it happening right there and then. Okay?
Yeah.
And as soon as they finish and they pay the money, they might have a hug with the stylist, who knows? But they might stand outside of the salon and they will take another selfie of their brand new hair.
Yeah.
And that will be on Instagram. It'll end up being on LinkedIn, to be honest with you. We'll be so excited. It'll be on Facebook, and they might mention the salon. And it was great to be back, and it was so emotional. And look at my hair now. And I'm saying to salons right now, and I'm going to say to every business right now, have you got a welcome back strategy? Not just hair salons, any business. When your customer, when your client next phones, emails, walks through, when you next deliver, do you have a welcome back strategy to say, we've missed you so much, and here's something. We want to do something more. We've had this time to think, and we want to deliver a greater experience. There you go. And for hair salons, wouldn't it be great, Graeme, if the barber shop or the salon that you go to, they bring you to your chair, and on the chair is a small bag, a gift bag. Maybe there's a little gift in there, something that they know that you like. Because guess what? We've been talking to Graeme for the last 30 years. We know that he likes a certain football team. What's your football team, Graeme?
Manchester United.
Yes, there you go. So there's nothing stopping your salon from going round to the shop and buying some Manchester United scarf or hat or badge or something. What?
Yeah, sure.
Doesn't matter. But also putting a card in there, and they handwrite on the card. They say, Graeme, it's so great to see your smile again. It's so great that you sat in the chair. We have missed you. And we just wanted to say, from everybody at whatever barbers it is, your business means the world. And you're going to take a third photograph that day.
Yep.
And that's the one that people will remember. Your haircut, we'll forget about that, Graeme, sorry, but we'll forget about that in the next 2 weeks. But we will never forget that. So this welcome back strategy, I'm talking a lot to clients about. Excitement. So you're a Manchester United fan, yes?
Yeah.
Now, do you like a certain movie, film franchise at all, a bit like me?
Yeah.
You're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah. May the fourth be with you is a national holiday in our house.
Okay, so I'm a big fan. I always have been since a kid. Most of us from being a kid. So we're talking about hair salons in a retail environment, okay? But another industry it's greatly affected, hotels, and I work a lot in hospitality.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, Graeme, how many hotels do you and I stay in per year?
Yeah, way too many.
Yeah. Too, and how many points have you got? And how many cards have you got? And how many reward things have you got?
Exactly. Can you even distinguish or remember one from the other? No. Yeah.
No. So I was at an event last year, and this is about knowing your customer, but doing something incredible to your CRM system that none of your competitors have thought about. Okay. Mm-hmm. Knowing your customer and what they love and what they like. So everybody's, I'm gonna be quite general here, Graeme. Everybody's CRM system is pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
Title, forename, surname, client, business, established, email, website. It's basically it's a marketing piece of stuff. Rarely does it ever get used for customer experience. Okay. Now, all you have to do with your CRM system, and I believe this doesn't cost anything, is you add a column, and that column says loves. Just loves. So Graeme Codrington, Geoff Ramm. So Graeme Codrington, and because I've known you for years, you always visit our hotel. You always come here on holiday. You always bring your 3 girls to our business every Sunday morning. I know something about you. What is it? And populate that column. Okay. So Manchester United, Star Wars, horse riding, yachting. It doesn't matter what it is, but at some point in that client journey, use that column to create a greater piece of experience. Last year, I had a conference on the south coast of England. I flew down. I got the taxi to the city, and I got to the Village Hotel in Portsmouth. Okay. Now this is a brand that I work with, and I did 2 conferences last year, but I wasn't working for them at this conference. In fact, the conference wasn't at the hotel. It was 2 miles down the road. The client just put me in a random hotel. It just happened to be somebody who I knew the brand, but I didn't know the general manager and I didn't know the staff. But I got there at 11:45 at midnight. Quite late flight. I got my key card. And as I opened the door, on my bed, you're wondering what I'm going to pull out here. This is the 18th certificate. On my bed. That sounded so much worse than it. Okay. There's a cushion. Are you ready for this?
Good grief.
Stay there. My wife.
Your wife, wow. What?
Our daughter. And our son.
Good grief.
And I looked at it, I burst out laughing. I was like, oh my word. There was also 2 pillowcases with the Sunderland badge.
Yeah.
And with my name on there. There was a couple of bottles of cider. There's a few things. I could not believe it. Could not believe it. I didn't tell them that I was coming, but the general manager who knows of me because of the conferences I've done over the last year, he sat down with the team. They did a 2-minute challenge and said, Geoff's coming, he's staying here. What can we do? And what's the first thing you do, Graeme? You take a photograph, you share it with the world. It's going to go into my next book, which is out early next year. Have you ever been to a hotel?
Tell us the hotel name now.
It's the Village Hotel in Portsmouth.
Yeah. No, there we go.
Honestly, I have. Oh my word! I have hundreds of these stories.
So Geoff, this makes a lot of sense to me. What you want to do is you want to sit down. Now help me out with this, because my accounting background is immediately saying, did they get a return on investment for 4 pillows, pillowcases, cider, and all the rest? Obviously, you want to distinguish between customers that are really worth it. You're not going to do this for every single person who walks through the front door of a supermarket. No. But if you're sitting during lockdown and you haven't been able to do work, but you know that sometime in the next few weeks or months, customers are going to start coming back, you want to look through your customer database, right? You want to look through your list and say,
absolutely,
Who should we treat like a celebrity, and what does that mean for them? And if you do that to 10%, 20%, if you can stretch to 40, 50% of your customers, you might make a mark in the next few weeks that will live for years in their memory. Because whatever happens the first day after lockdown finishes is going to live in all of our memories, right? As you say, first haircut after lockdown is not going to be forgotten for a while.
No, this is causing a ripple that could end up as being a wave. That's the best way I can put it. Can we do for everybody? No. There'll be finance directors on this call just having a mini heart attack right now, thinking, oh, we can't do this. We can't do this. I've got so many examples of a written note, or this is to the nth degree. Cushions and brand. I get it. However, take your top 10 customers. Take your top 10% customers. If you want to categorize them as profit, money, frequency, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But more importantly, start. Yeah. Just start, because people say, well, we can't
do something.
It's an easy way of saying, oh, we can't do this for everybody, Geoff. I'm like, I'm not asking you to eat the elephant, I'm saying, here's what we do. We look at creating a piece of magic, and it needn't cost the earth. A piece of magic for one customer, and let's just start with one a week. That's 52 a year that you are currently not delivering celebrity service to. Now, when we come back and we have these meetings and we put a new strategy, a welcome back strategy in place, we look across all of those 9 components. We create a different culture, both internally, but also externally, because a lot of things we've talked about has been external today. But we create some of these ideas and we build on them. They're what's the return on investment? You know what? I wonder how many times I'll use those cushions on virtual conferences and actual conferences. I've done it already.
Yeah, it's probably the cheapest advertising they'll do this decade. Yeah,
they'll have about 2 to 3 pages in my next book.
Yeah, and absolutely.
You never know.
But you know what? I think you've switched something on in my brain. I'm probably not going to be able to stop, and I don't know whether I'm going to thank you or hurt you next time I see you face to face, because this 120 challenge is already going in my head. I'm trying to concentrate on what you're saying, but I'm thinking I'm fairly loyal to my, it's called sorbet man here in South Africa, because of course a real man wouldn't go to a woman's hairdresser, of course not. So they had to make a hairdresser just for men, so that us men would actually go to them.
And they called it sorbet.
Sorbet, yes, sorbet man, not sorbet, sorbet man. There is a sorbet, but nobody would go to sorbet, so they made it sorbet man, and now we all flock to it. I mean, we're idiots, but still, it works. I love going to it. They treat you well. They actually do quite well. I would think if there was a celebrity service index, they do pretty well.
Yeah,
but I was just thinking, what could they do? They've probably lost a lot of money. They're thinking we're a bit cash strapped. You know what would be the single biggest thing that would just blow my socks off? If I was a celebrity and they were told in South Africa, you're not allowed to go to the hairdressers at the moment, and we got different levels of lockdown, and hairdressers we're hoping will be unlocked in the next few days. But they're going to be given a few days notice, right? They're going to be told you'll be able to open next Thursday. I would love to get a text message, because they run off of our cell phones, to phone and say, well, we're opening next Thursday, but we're not opening next Thursday for the general public. We're only open for our regulars. We're only open for you.
Yeah.
So Thursday or Friday, respond to this message now and book your place, because we're keeping a place just for you. It would cost them nothing. They would fill their shop, no doubt. In actual fact, they're probably thinking, I don't need to do it, because these guys will phone us anyway and ask for a booking. But you know what? If they did it, I would think that I would feel like a rock star, and I would think that they were rock stars. This is what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. So they know it's going to happen. They've got a good idea when it's going to happen. Okay. Yeah. So they know the date. They're going to get the staff together. precautions in place? Yes, great. Okay, who's our regulars? Who's the person that first, we need to contact Graeme, we need to contact Geoff, we need to contact, and we'll give them a call, and give them a call, not a text.
Yeah, sure.
Give them a call. Graeme, it's Geoff from Sorbet. How you doing? Yeah. Look, I'm tipping you off.
Yeah.
Officially, we're going to open on Friday. It's actually going to be Thursday.
Yeah.
Do you want an appointment? We're not putting this on Facebook. It's nothing. But do you want one of the very first appointments? You're
taking my thought a level up again. That's the celebrity piece on top of it now.
Yeah.
This is just you and me, only for you. Yeah.
Only for you. Okay. And then Friday, when you announce it to the world, but even still, just say we're going to open at 6 in the morning, and we're going to close at 11 o'clock at night. And do you know what we're going to do? It's been hard times for everybody, but for everybody who, for all of the tips that day are going to go to these key workers, or all of the tips are going. Now there's your PR angle on top. That's your celebrity service to a charity.
Yeah.
There's so many things we can do.
Yeah. So Daryl's just said his dog groomers did that for them yesterday, and they felt super special. And this is, I think, for me, the genius of your idea here is that it isn't rocket science. You don't need a CRM system to introduce it. This is a mindset you put in your people. So if those of you who are watching, if you've got questions for Geoff, even if you want a little bit of free consulting, I'm going to be sneaky and say, tell us if you've got a business and you can't think of any ideas, we'll do a quick 120 challenge, Geoff and I are with you right now. So if you are live with us, the benefit of being live is you can get into the chat box in the next few minutes. But Geoff, I'm going to take you back to an example. You said, what if we're a lawyer? What if we're an accounting firm? Yeah. What do we do? I'm sure you've never been able to help them, or have you?
Easy. Come on. I work a lot. Funnily enough, I work a lot in the finance sectors, mainly in the UK, but also in Australia. So so financial planners, accounting. So actually quite a bit. Oh, where do I start? So many ideas. My accountant's a guy called Stephen Paul, and he's got a business called Valued Accountancy based in the northeast of England. And I spoke about him, and I spoke about him last at a conference in Sydney to 8,000 people. And I put his response to an email to me on the screen for 8,000 people to look at. And I said, you want to know how to provide celebrity service? Stop with the processes. Stop with the business-to-business transaction. I'm a person, right? I'm a person. And the email I put up, and it was one sentence, right? It was one sentence, Graeme. And I screen grabbed it. I thought, that is incredible. And he delivers celebrity service to us, Haley and I, as directors of the business. And he just said, I just wanted to congratulate you guys on a wonderful year. You have done a phenomenal job. Nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that. And it was one of the most personal things. Nobody ever, and it's interesting, because business, that word money or what you've done, Graeme, this year, it can be a dirty word for people outside of you. But for somebody to say, Graeme, you've done phenomenal, well done. You're like, you know what? I've absolutely worked my socks off this year. Thank you so much. And it meant the world. Now, every day, Stephen and his team, they are very active on their groups on Facebook. And this is not just for clients. He's invited non-clients as well. But every week he goes live with a video with updates on the government and the furlough schemes and all this. And he's working treble time. Also, I've done some sessions for him, bit like you and I, question answers with businesses. We're just trying to help, And he sent me a pen.
Yeah. So he's got the Star Wars theme again.
Wait there.
Leanne, while we get the next prop to show us, Leanne's asked a question. Leanne, just to give you a bit of warning, in a moment, I'm going to actually invite you to come in as a presenter. I'd like you to ask your question directly to Geoff in a second. I haven't done this before. I hope the software works properly. Leanne, if you don't want to, it's fine. Just click no. If you haven't done your hair, maybe, and don't want to be on camera. But if you are prepared to ask your question directly to Geoff, I'll bring you in a second, Leanne. Right, Geoff, show us here. You really are a Star Wars fan, aren't you?
Anyhow, people just send me stuff.
Like a little kid.
But this was a gift to me. So this is an accountant sending a gift to me. A week later, Nigel Risner, who we know well. So Nigel and I, we delivered a perfect day seminar, a bit similar to this, on behalf of Grace House, which was a charity. And the kids, pretty sick children, and all of the fundraising has stopped. So over a month ago, Nigel and I got together and we did a session and people donated, which was wonderful. And we raised money. It was just, in these times, we just do whatever we can to help whoever we can. And Simon Britton, who was from Quantify Tax. That's an exciting name. Quantify, right? So Simon Britton, he orchestrated the event. So he invited me, I got Nigel, and we did it. So he is a part of the charity. And Nigel, when he comes up to the northeast of England, we have an ice cream brand in the northeast of England called Minchella. It's a family business. And Nigel and I said, we can't wait till we have a Minchella's ice cream, when we come out of this. And a week later, our doorbell went. Grace and Elliot answered together. And they said, I've got ice cream for you. I said, I'm sorry? Have you ordered ice cream? They said, no. Oh, is that number, is that, they give the number? Yeah, there's a number. Oh, I've got, and said, just let them in. And Simon sent us 2 tubs of ice cream, 8 chocolate flakes, and 4 cones. And we talk about how do we deliver celebrity service in the professional accountancy. I hundreds of examples. Brilliant. And it's that human side of what we are.
Now, Leanne has asked a question, and I've now sent her a note. Leanne, if you want to, I have no idea how this works because I've never tried it before, but apparently I've sent a link to your computer that is inviting you to join us as a presenter. If you accept it, you'll pop on the screen in a few moments. So please do that if you want to do that. If not, Geoff, let me just say. So Leanne works in employee engagement. Leanne has joined the room. Leanne can put a question to you. She wants to know about monthly forums. Leanne, if you want to switch your video on, I think in the top middle of your screen there's a little button where the audio and the video is, and you can just switch it on. Otherwise, just speak. There you go.
Wow.
The floor is yours.
I haven't done my hair. I'm so sorry.
Well, you joined the club. Geoff hasn't done his hair in years.
Oh dear. Thank you for letting me join. So the majority of my role is based around employee engagement. And in our organisation, our internal customer is just as important as our external customer. So a lot of what I do is monthly forums, the employee conference, Christmas parties, etc. So I just wanted to know if you have any tips on how to add that level of celebrity service to those moments, if I may.
Where do I begin? One of the greatest examples I've ever seen of one of the happiest workforce I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and I, this is one for you, Graeme, as well. If you were to say to an audience, if you had to leave your job role now, Leanne, and work for any brand in the world, that would be like really exciting and the happiest place to work. Where would you love to work? And I hear the same answers. Okay, Google, Lego, Apple, Disney.
Disney, yeah, that's my.
Yeah, so it's kind of like everybody's the same. And I say, right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to now show you, and I show audiences with my slides and stories. And I say, I'm going to show you the happiest workforce in the world, and it's none of those four. And I said, it's somewhere where I've been, and I was blown away. I thought everybody was on drugs. It wasn't quite right. They weren't quite right. They were too happy. I was thinking something's not right here. And it's a call centre in Wrexham.
Wow.
So it's a call centre in the north of Wales. And it's a business called Moneypenny.
Okay.
So it's a call answering service. Okay. And the reason I'm going to tell a little bit of this story is because it's a celebrity service, a bit like charity, starts at home. It starts internally. And if we can get everybody wanting to deliver a greater experience, it's so much easier to deliver it externally. So I want to give you a couple of examples. So I pulled up at this brand new state-of-the-art call center, headquarters, okay? And it hadn't been open for so long. The business was about 15 years old at the time, phenomenally successful. And we're clients of each other's, by the way. But I was doing a conference the next day, but I traveled down the day before to see what they were about. I wanted to see their culture, meet them, and have a walk around. So I walked through the first set of doors, open, and you walk down a corridor, and you're into the main reception. But as I'm walking down this short corridor, on the left-hand side on the wall, on the wood panelled wall, are thousands of names of all of the staff who've worked there.
Wow.
Every single name is on that wall. They have made a difference. Now, there's a sign that says, this is dedicated to the people who have made Moneypenny to what it is today for what it will be tomorrow. And they've dedicated that wall to the staff. Imagine you've been there for like 3 months and your name is already a part of the foundations.
I feel like you've made a difference already.
Yeah. Now, this isn't about, well, what should we do for the Christmas party? Should we give them an extra drink? No. Just that recognition that I'm a part of the foundations.
Yeah.
It was stunning. Now, I'm going into speaker mode here, Graeme, so you can have to shut me up. So I walk in and they offered me a coffee. The coffee, you'll love this, Graeme. The coffee was all on an iPad. And you had to press what you wanted, and then it came out. Not the iPad, it came out of a system. We haven't got that far with technology in the future yet.
I was going to say, if you were telling me it came out of the iPad, then I know you were on drugs that day.
And I took a photograph of the iPad with all of the different coffee and choices you could have. But the reason I took the photograph is because they have cups. And on their cup, they have on the brand, it says it's a cup of happy.
Oh.
All right. Now, this might seem a bit to some, but when I say to audiences, I say, have you got cups in your business? And say, yeah. I said, are they happy? I says, I bet they're miserable bloody cups. And I said, but it's and I say to people, it's a different culture. Mm. So your name, I've got loads of examples, but I want to show you one of the for me, the best. It's something called the Mojo Wall. The Mojo Wall. And there are hundreds of Mojo moments all over Moneypenny, along the corridors and up the stairwells. And what they have is, so remember, your name is in the foundations. But what did that name do? What did that name represent? What did they do? They must have had one or two good times or moments or ideas. So what they do is they find out what Leanne, they get a thank you card, and you overhear with the team that Leanne did this for a client or did this for somebody. And they don't just put you on an intranet newsletter that's never read. They professionally print it out, they mount it, and they put it into a crate, and they put it and display it on the wall.
Yeah, that's like a different level.
This is a call center.
Yeah, Leanne, that was a great question. It gave Geoff a fantastic opportunity. I'm going to switch you back to just listening to us. That was a great way to just kind of summarize the attitude, right? The attitude of saying, if our staff members were celebrities, if our customers were celebrities, how would we treat them? and then going into that. We've probably got time for one final thing, and because we made the offer, let's do it. JG says, we serve doctors with software services. Can you give us a 120-second challenge for Celebrity Service to say thank you to for the service the doctors are giving during COVID time? So they're a software provider, not a sexy business at all, but they want to kind of, how do they show celebrity service to their doctors right now? 120 seconds, you're on the clock, go.
120 seconds. I would try and find out their name as quick as you can. I would try and get out the name, not because it's interesting. Doctors, which I understand, will put them in a group, but what is their name? What is their name? And could you do something very, very, very special? If we're wanting to sort of send something to our doctors to say thank you for the service that they're giving, what could that be? We could do anything. Graeme could do it. I tell you what, we'll go to the airfield. If it's not the name of every doctor, we'll get the name of the clinic or the hospital, and we send them an email saying, look outside. And we'll send a hot air balloon around Joburg with a message, or a plane with it. You know, we could do anything. That's one idea. We could do a personal gift. It might not be so easy to get something through the door, or maybe as appropriate, but maybe you could do something very, very on a large scale to say thank you. In the UK here, every Thursday night, it's going to happen tonight, 8 o'clock. We clap for carers. I'm just wondering if there's something that you could do. Or even,
that's what I was thinking. I know it's really hard to do a brainstorm on your own in a room because it's bad. So my idea was on that clap for carers moment to link it into that, where if you as a software provider were able to either put a little, they call it an Easter egg into the software itself that popped up for them and just said thank you, or that you physically as a team went to hospital each week over the next few weeks, went hospital to hospital, and you had some kind of visual display outside the front of the building or something that just said thank you in a way.
Another idea, yes, absolutely. Another idea. So outside of the hospital or the clinic, there will be a roundabout or a building. There'll be a bus stop. There'll be a chance for you to put an advert. Maybe it's a rolling advert. Or hopefully something digital. If you're a software company, then at least try and marry the brand up. But what you could do is again find every name of the doctor in that, and we'll find a way, and then literally put from everybody at software company, we thank every single one of you. Bang, 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 bang.
Name. I like that one.
Can I tell you when I saw that?
Go for it. No, go for it, Geoff. Yeah.
Just before January, I spoke for Swift. It's a great motorhome caravan brand here in the UK and the world, actually. And I did their conference last year, their dealership conference, and I did 120 challenges. All was good. They rebooked me to speak to 1,000 of their workforce. I go the day before and I'm getting mic'd up, Graeme. Can you remember getting mic'd up? Somebody used to touch you. Somebody used to literally feel your collar. It was...
You're missing it.
So they're micing me up, and Amy turned to me from Swift and she said, I hope you like what we've done for the workforce tomorrow. And I said, sorry? She said, oh, turn around. And I turned around. I mean, it's a huge stage and a huge screen, and there was about a dozen dancers on the stage. And they started with some 1960s music, okay? And the dancers, so they're doing a rehearsal, and the dancers were doing all of these 60s moves, and the pictures of the caravans were starting to come up. Then they went into the 1970s. The music changed, the dancing changed, and then every single employee, the 1,000 people in that room, was listed on the screen on the day that they started. Into the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, every single person. So the marketing team got together and said, how can we create celebrity service for everybody? Costs nothing, means the world.
Yeah.
And they listed and it was easily one of the most spectacular things I've seen as a conference speaker in my life. And Amy said,
now you've just sparked Natalie, who joined our 120, and Vitsa joined the 120 challenge. Natalie said, put a short video together with your team, each holding thank you notes with the doctor's names on them.
perfect.
So you're not even traveling to the hospital. You don't have to buy anything. You're just literally saying thank you and doctors' names, and you're sending videos to them. So there we go.
Names mean the world.
They do. It's the most special thing you own. So everybody, Geoff and I knew we wouldn't be able to keep to half an hour. I said to him, we've all got webinar fatigue. Let's try.
Graeme, we're out of lockdown now. We've been talking too long.
Lockdown's over. We've been talking too long. But look, I'm sure you know now why I wanted to speak to Geoff. And listen, and he's too much of a gentleman to do this himself, so I'll do it on his behalf. This is what he does for a living. You can see he's that kind of guy, an ideas guy. He's full of stories, full of energy, full of ideas, and he'll bring it across on the screen just as well as he would have on the stage at your annual conference. So get him in to speak to your staff, get him in to speak to all those people in your business who are customer facing, to fire them up. And Geoff, I'm going to give you the last word again, just to remind us that this is not a time to just go into customer response mode. You know, people are phoning, let's just respond. This is the time when actually standout customer service could make, literally in this case, could make all the difference to your business. Last word to you, Geoff, and then we're done.
You're still in the pits. You know, we can change that front wing. We can adapt it. We can change a tyre. We can put that a little bit extra fuel or a little bit less fuel in. We can make some adjustments in the pit lane right now. Graeme, you and I, we're like pit crew. You know, we're here with ideas, with suggestions. We've got it all ready to go, ready to help. Just call us in, and when you get back on the track, just make sure that you. It's too much of a cheap shot to say just win, but just get out on the track with huge confidence that nobody else on that grid has got anywhere near the service experience that you've got. Use this time well, and create something that the world can talk about.
And brilliant. I mean, for me, that's exactly what we need to be doing. And I hope now that with the joys of the digital world, that you, Geoff, are able to take this message even further than you could have imagined all around the world. And I hope that anybody who's watching this video gets in touch with you. I'm sure they'll get the benefits. Geoff, thanks for your time. It's great chatting to you.
Take care.